All right, so for anybody who's tuning in on YouTube, I've had some issues and it wasn't loading. It didn't allow me to go live. We just unboxed the Mustang GT3 Wheel. I'm a big fan, love it. All my guys out here on Instagram have been hanging out with me, much appreciated. They gave me some ideas. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this wheel in terms of the LED profiles. I do work with Daniel Newman's profiles, love them. They were saying, hey man, it's a Mustang. You got to go red, white, and blue. That's what Wyatt over on Instagram was saying. I was like, you know what? Great call. This is the Daytona version of the wheel. Got the signature there from, the Cup-winning driver. Super exciting. Actually got serial number 12, so that's obviously be happy about. Extremely light wheel. Love the carbon fiber. All the switches. The difference, another difference here is that this is clear, so it can be backlit with any color I want, whereas the normal version of the wheel has colors already there. And the normal version of the wheel is on sale at VPG Sim right now for 20% off. So if you're looking for a new wheel, head over to VPG Sim right now and get one. Black Friday sales are great. You'll get 20% off one of my favorite wheels as a hybrid wheel for both Formula and GT racing. All right. So now that you guys are, sorry for repeating myself over there, Instagram folks, Wyatt, but let's get into the next part of this unboxing. So this box is from Podium One, and these are going to be the dual clutch shifters for the VPG Sim Porsche GT3 wheel. I tried to get them put in with my order when I ordered the wheel itself, and something happened. I don't know. It didn't go through. No big deal. It is what it is. But these will go back here with this wheel. There they go. So we'll get these on there later. And now we'll have the dual shifters for our Porsche wheel. Gotta love it. Let's keep it rolling because we've got more stuff. Another box from Heisenfeld. I think this is a big box. Probably what's in here is not going to be quite as big. But let's take a look. They're out of the Netherlands. This package shipped a few days ago and has already arrived. I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those folks who does believe in and like wearing gloves. So let's see what they got going for me. All right. So this is gloves. We're going to be doing, like I said, some reviews on gloves coming very soon. Wyatt came over to YouTube. Much appreciated. My guy, thank you. Thanks for coming to hang out. Like I said, this is just me sharing my fun, having a good time. And I appreciate you coming to kick it. All right. Anybody else that's out there watching, leave a comment. Let me know you're there. That way I can shout you out and just say thank you for coming. All right. So the gloves from Heisenfeld. I met up with them in Dortmund at Sim Racing Expo, which was a blast. I had never been to something quite that big and overwhelming in terms of an expo. There were probably 14,000 people there. So it was wild. But a bunch of good people over there, tons of gloves. Oh, these are nice. Check these out. They're very light. You can see how well they breathe, and they're definitely grippy. I did get to try them on while I was there, and told them they should definitely send me a pair so that I could check out and get a review video. So we've got about 6 different pairs of gloves from different places. I like these gloves a lot. They feel great. The palms are actually pretty thick, which you feel immediately when you put the glove on. Some people may not like that. I'm one of those nerds that wears gloves because multiple reasons. My hands sweat a ton. And if you're having, nicer wheels or things that you care about and want to keep nice, you don't want to get them all greasy with your hands. So why not wear gloves? If wearing a $50, $60, $80 pair of gloves helps me save a $1,500 wheel, $2,000 wheel, why not? So this is one pair. These are definitely, like I said, thick in the palms, but very breathable behind. I like the longer gloves that come up the wrist, not the ones that stop short. That's just my personal preference. These feel great. Okay. Let's see what else is in this box, because I am surprised. They actually sent me these gloves, as I said, for free to do a review. Just because somebody sends me something free doesn't mean I'm going to say, hey, I like this, I love it, whatever. That's not how I operate. you can't buy my love and affection because I'm just an average dude, you know? If I was a beautiful man or some other stuff like that, maybe you could buy my love and affection, but it doesn't work that way. So again, Heisenfeld, thank you guys for sending this over. I'm pumped for many reasons. We all saw the newest set of Corsa Rally game come out. Wyatt, have you been looking at that? Are you pumped about it? Because I know I'm super juiced for that game. So I might be getting a few more Heisenfeld products in the mail very soon. I know they're going to have some Black Friday deals, and they told me to hold off on placing an order for something. So waiting for those deals to see what they look like. And if they are what I'm expecting, something at a higher percentage, then I'll probably grab, you know, their shifter and their handbrake so that I can get on a set of Corsa Rally and have a blast. All right. And I have no experience driving Rally, but I touched it while at Sim Racing Expo, and it went terribly, but it was a lot of fun. So, all right, let's see what the HE cap is, because I have no idea. This is a surprise to me. And it might be the kind of surprise I actually like, so let's see. All right. Oh, just a Heisenfeld cap. All right, dope. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Smart. What do you think? Can I rock this? Is my face a little too chunky? I'm excited. Don't really do Rally much. Agreed. I've never really played Rally up until the game. They debuted the game, or you know, showed an early release and let us play it at Sim Racing Expo. And I thought it was amazing. It's beautiful. It was a lot of fun. It's high energy. And if you have like a motion rig or something, that just adds to the immersion, getting tossed around and such, which you can kind of see in my, sorry, it's so messy. Like I said, my house is a war zone, but I do have a motion rig. It's got 3 degrees of freedom. So having that, why not, right? Why not, if you have a motion rig, go ahead and play something different. Let's crank this mic up a little bit, see if it's low or not. There we go. Can you guys hear me any better? Can you hear me on YouTube all right? Appreciate it. Looks all right. Wyatt, are you able to hear me on YouTube well? The volume's all right? All right, cool. We got the cap. Shout out Heisenfeld. Appreciate it. Let's get some of these other gloves up here unboxed. All right. Oh. So Lovely Racing, everybody knows them for their LED profiles as well as the things they do with the DDUs. Another set of gloves. These were actually sent for me as well for testing. I did not pay for these, but I will not, again, be bought. So if I don't like something, you'll hear it. All right. These gloves are definitely light. The palms, this is the first time I've slid them on. The palms are a little bit more, I would say, like stiff feeling. So I know you got to break them in. But they do feel good. Another thing is like they're tight gloves, so they really contour to your hand and they feel tight. Think skinny jeans, but on your hands. I love the color scheme. They're custom as well, you know. OSA number 3. Let's get it. Another nice pair of gloves. Can't wait to test these out and really see, you know, how they hold up and how they feel. The grip does feel fine. I would say it's a little thinner here in terms of, you know, like the actual sticky part of the material. That part doesn't like come up off the glove. It's a bit flatter, which, you know, may or may not be amazing. And then it is very apparent that you'll be able to touch your phone with your index fingers and thumbs. So that's always nice because, you know, nothing like getting a phone call or a text while you're playing the game. Big fan of tight gloves. Agreed. I like that form-fitting feeling where, like I said, it's tight on you and you just feel like it's a part of you, not like you're swimming in it. And I'm an average size guy, but I do have big hands. I wear an extra large glove. So sometimes like the larges aren't good. The extra large sometimes are small. One of the things for me, like you see where it scrunches up and it gets tight right here around the wrist. I like when that is below like the palm of my hand, right? Because that way it's on my wrist tight as opposed to like up on the palm where it can get pulled up. So this is like just in between. So if they have a double XL, that would probably be the size that I would choose in the future now that I know. So we'll have to double check on double XL. But regardless, solid glove. We'll see how they feel when I'm putting them through their paces. All right. Oh yeah, exactly. When they don't work with your phone, you got to pull it out, especially, you know, depending on where you are in life and what you're doing. If you're young and single, you might be trying to line up, you know, a date or something, or your lady's calling you or texting you or whatever. So you want to be able to answer that. All right, so put our gloves over. Now these are the gloves from Subelt. If you know anything about them, all of their products are premium. Um, and you know they're expensive. It's Italian. Italian stuff is always prime but costly. These are again also an XL. Ooh, I've liked these gloves from the first time I tried them on. All right, so check this out. Remember what we just talked about? The last thing I mentioned about where I like my gloves to be in terms of where that, you know, like that tight scrunchiness is. I like that to be on the wrist and below the palm. Check that out. It is on. Oh, it's a little bright there. We'll turn that light away. There we go. You see how that is on the wrist and below the palm, so it's not likely to slide up? That's what I'm talking about. And then look at the grips. You see the stickies? Very interesting. It's got that little, like, I don't even know what to call that. It almost like, you know, you see like a tiger's tongue. It's kind of like that. Very interesting. And then sticky at the fingertips as well. Sticky at the fingertips. Interesting little grips there. And I was mentioning with gloves, for me, sizing wise, I like when the tight part, the scrunchy part is below my palm and on my wrist. So far, that is exactly where these fit. So I'm definitely a fan. So we'll, again, excited to try these out and see how they really hold up. Definitely breathable. Again, form fitting, tight on the hands. So far, I really like these. I think the quality of them, again, they are, you know, like that uh, outer seam is how they're stitched. So that way the stitching itself never potentially touches your skin or scratches you, which most of these gloves so far have been, which is great. But just something to mention. So like if you're looking at them, you can see like they look like rough edges, but that's for the actual comfort of the glove itself. And these are definitely high quality. Palms are stiff. Again, these are brand new gloves that I've never even put on. So we'll see how they feel when I break them all in. Whoo, I'm juiced. Plus, who doesn't like new stuff? You know what I mean? Oh yeah, Wyatt, these are great. Who doesn't like new stuff? I love new stuff. Anybody else who's out here watching, give them a comment so I can give you a shout out. Appreciate it. All right, so that's 3 pairs of gloves. And then this pair here is from Daniel Morad. I hope I pronounced it right, but I'm sure you guys have seen him, Moradness. He drives GT3 cars in real life. I think the one he normally drives is Mercedes. And then he's a big-time sim gamer as well. I follow his channel, definitely learned a lot from him. And I know he sells gloves, so I decided, you know, I hit them up and said, hey, I'd like to order a pair and give them a try. So we'll check these out. Again, I paid for these, just like the Subelts. I paid for them, so regardless, you're going to know what I think, whether I paid for them or they were sent for free, but I'm just letting you know. All right, pop this little goofiness off. They have his little logo everywhere, which is nice. I mean, good job of branding. Always respect something like that. Ooh, these tags. Let's see how these tags feel. As a kid, I was one of those people who like tags on my clothing bothered me tremendously. So we'll have to take a look. What brand of gloves? These ones are Moradness. If you were asking about these white gloves, or these ones you were asking about, M-Gags Racing, if these are Subelt. So they make, you know, steering wheels, 5 harnesses. They actually make rigs as well, but they make a lot of stuff that goes in real race cars. So these are phenomenal gloves, but these come from Italy, and I think I paid like 120 euros plus import taxes and fees on these, but they're beautiful. They're great. I'm a big fan so far. Now back onto the Moradness gloves. Let's slide them on and see how they feel. Okay. Very light. I would say they fit the hands, as we always talk about where things fit. For me, these are tight at the wrist. They're not too tight down here. Again, I like things to be a little bit more form-fitting. Think of Like your sim racing gloves, for me, I like to think of them as like socks. I want them to fit how my socks feel, just natural and easy. And no, I don't wear those toe socks. I think those are a little too interesting. No judgments if you do, though. All right. They're light. They definitely have kind of like a, that sportswear, Under Armour, dry fit type of a feel to them. What I will say about like the stickiness on the palms and the hands, though, the black part definitely feels like it was something that was like is a sticker and can be peeled off. So that's something I'm just curious to see how well it holds up. As well, these look like the index finger and thumbs can be used to press buttons on your phone. You got to text in between laps, right? But let's see how they hold up. They're comfortable, not too stiff in the palm, which means they'll probably break in easily. But I'm really curious to see how well this palm area holds up just because of how this feels like it was something that was either stuck on or, like they patch it on and then iron it from the opposite side. So just curious to see how these hold up. I'm sure some of you guys have used them in the past. So if you're here and you've used Muradness gloves, feel free to comment and let me know what you guys have thought of them and how long you've had them. But again, as always, excited to try them. These are just my initial thoughts as I'm touching them. And as you can see, I try to get gloves in a bunch of different colors because I don't want everything to be the exact same color because that'd be boring. All right. Here we go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another pair of gloves here somewhere. Here they are. All right, so this brand I had never heard of before, Sync Mesh, but I saw them. Oh, you use them. Okay, you think they're okay, but you're thinking about getting something different. Thanks for letting me know, Wyatt. Like I said, he's somebody I follow. The way you support people that you like or follow is by buying their merch or their products when they're available. So regardless if they're amazing or they're not as good as some of the other ones, I'm glad I was able to support and buy a pair. So this is Sync Mesh. I had never heard of this brand before. I saw them at Sim Racing Expo in Dortmund, and while I was there on site, they asked me my size and gave me a pair to use and try on. So I've been saving them exactly for this. All the things that I've had, these gloves have been coming in over the past couple of weeks, but I just wanted to open them kind of up all at the same time. Right. Let's get rid of this little piece of plastic. All right, I believe this was like their middle tier glove. They ran out of whatever their like flagship glove was. They ran out of that in my size, which is fine. That's the lay of the land, right? You can't have it all your way all the time, especially beggars can't be choosers. They gave me a free pair of gloves, which is definitely cool, but I'm going to do the same thing as everything else. I'm going to give you an honest review when the time comes. So let's talk about the first thing I always start with is that wrist. Is it properly sized for me? That doesn't mean it's a good glove or a bad glove, but is the X large size the right size for me? And you can see palm of my hand there, wrist there. So this is the right size for me in this brand. Sizing. Is it on the palm of my hand or is it aligned with my wrist? If it's tight along my wrist, that's what I like. Because if it's tight on the palm of my hand, it will ride up. And I hate that feeling. So size-wise, if your true size is extra large or large, order true size. Feel, they're light. They're breathable. They're not as tight as some of the other gloves on your hand. And they're definitely more loose around the wrist. So it's more like maybe socks in the hand and then you have like those looser, scrunchy type of socks along the wrist. That's how they feel there. Light, breathable. The stickies do also feel like something that was, like ironed on, like the S's. But I think these will work well. Again, we're going to put them through their paces. Excited to test them out. Got a different color because having the same color and everything, as I said, is mad boring. I'm getting a little chunky. I got to lose a little weight. Let's get this going. All right. So glove-wise, we've got quite a few, right? That's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the Heisink Velds, these had the thickest palm out of all of them. So if like I was thinking about like where or which one would last the longest, my first bet would be that these would last the longest because of how thick the palms were. And then this pair of gloves, whoops, dropped. This pair of gloves is from Sue Speed. I've had these for probably a year and a half, and they've held up pretty well so far. They're probably the lightest pair of gloves I've put on. Same thing when I say how the fitment is in terms of where they line up. XL is the right size. This is on my wrist. Right size on my wrist. Very light, very breathable. These are most like socks. They really are just like that light. They're not as tight in the fingers, I would say. And then wrist-wise, you can see they're kind of looser around the wrist. So it depends on what you personally like or you are into. I think they've been great gloves. They've held up well. Same thing as all the rest of the gloves on here. They are stitched on the outside. That's why they have like the rough edges. But the alternative is they're stitched on the inside, and then you feel these rough edges scraping along your hands, which you don't want. Blisters from your gloves will stop you from playing, from having fun. So find what works for you. Of gloves on this list so far, I would say, are the Sue Speeds. Thickest palms, I expect these to last the longest. Heisink Veld, lightest Sue Speed. Another good pair of gloves, customizable, were the Lovely Racings. And I would probably put these right there along with the Sue Speed in terms of how they feel. The most premium pair of gloves, just from, again, feeling and very unique grips, have to be the Subelt so far, but you'll have to tune in and check back with me later after I've gotten to use them extensively. The Muradness gloves come in different colors. They're customizable, which is cool. They kind of feel generic, but again, there are people that say they're okay like Wyatt. There are people that love them. I need to test them out and have a little bit more time to figure out how I feel about them myself. And then these SimTech gloves, Sim Mesh gloves. Again, these are kind of like their mid-tier gloves. These aren't their flagship product. And their flagship gloves I did use. Those were definitely nice, a little nicer feeling than these. These are pretty much in line, as I would say, with the Lovely Racing gloves from initial feel. Got to put them through the paces and check them out. So far, we've talked about 6 pairs of gloves. Was excited and pumped enough. Podium 1, appreciate you guys for sending me these paddle shifters. I'm sorry, these are the paddles, the clutch paddles for the VPG Sim Porsche Cup wheel. This is the 911 Cup wheel out of the real Cup car, not a replica, but it didn't come with them. These were kind of an add-on after the fact. So thanks for sending these over to me, because I thought I put them in my order, but somehow I guess I didn't. But either way, Podium 1 as always. Appreciate you guys taking care of me. Good looking out. I know you don't want to see my face. You want to see the pretty wheel. So here we go. Check out the pretty wheel one more time. There she is. Oh, iRacers Podcast Lounge. What's popping? Thanks for tuning in. And the other thing we unboxed, as I said, this was the big purchase, the big thing of the week. VPG Sim Mustang Daytona Edition wheel. Signed. This is number 12. So super pumped to get a number, right? And they've got a mission wheel coming very soon. This is, as I've said, my favorite hybrid wheel. If you look at the shape, that means it obviously work well as a Formula style wheel, and it's out of a GT3 car. So of course it's a GT wheel. This one came with the clutches and then obviously the paddle shifters, but listen to it. Ooh. Click these buttons. Come over here to Instagram real quick. Let you guys give it a little listen. All right. So that's what we got into today. We had a successful unboxing in my mind. I had fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate the love. Wyatt, thanks for coming to hang out with me. Much appreciated. You got to come kick it with me again soon. There'll definitely be some more unboxings and some exciting things coming in the very near future. From like a sim racing standpoint and a sim standpoint, I will be going to PRI, which is in Indianapolis. That's like a racing expo, but they will have a sim racing and sim product section. So I'll be there checking that out. Exciting as always. I know Manny will be there from VPG Sim. I can't wait to see him. Hopefully, he's got that new mission wheel with him because that is a Formula style wheel, which will be there first. And I'm juiced about that. Hopefully, it's the same type of product. Uh, Thank you, Wyatt. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're gonna have to check out the reviews. Most definitely. I have some more content coming. I've just been really busy. The house is under construction right now. I work as well, have a full-time job, and then I run a media company where I work with a number of clients, helping manage their marketing strategy, and then I do videography for them as well. So one of those companies that I've been working with, kind of in the sim industry, if you don't know already. Is Driven Dynamics. I fell in love with their simulator, and I, kind of offered my service and said, "Hey, I'd love to work with you guys. Let's make something happen." So now I do work with them, helping with the strategic planning. They're amazing. Their simulator is top notch. I don't know what I have to do to get one, but I definitely want one. 6 degrees of freedom. It'll change your life. But they're more tailored toward like real race drivers, not some nerd who sits and plays a video game in his room, and that's like the only racing I get to do. But again, awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. You have to check out some of my flying content. As I said, I'm a pilot. It's been an amazing adventure so far in terms of sim racing. I'm newer to sim racing. I did a lot more flight sim because it helped me in training for my pilot license. Other than that, I'm gonna see you guys at PRI. We were talking about review videos, Wyatt. I've got more coming. I had a lot of content that I shot and was in the middle of creating from Sim Racing Expo in Dortmund, which was like a month ago. But I've just been so backed up with client work that you got to take care of that first, outside of your own personal, fun type videos. So I'm gonna try to crank out some of those. I got a lot of reviews. From the SimLab DDX products, their new direct drive wheelbases that they're making, which was like a 26 Newton meter and a 39 Newton meter. I think I got to use each one for something like 30 minutes. So I really got to feel it, and I'm going to share my thoughts. I'll make sure to work and get that video out very soon. I obviously got to use a SimuCube 3, which I loved and purchased. So that should be arriving in the next week or so. I think it's supposed to launch on the 24th. I'll have to wait and see. Other things, I didn't get to use all the motion rigs at Sim Racing Expo that I wanted, simply because the lines were super long. And even though I'm a content creator and the Game It Creator Pass, that doesn't allow you to get in like early entry, which I think that was kind of a flaw. So hopefully Sim Racing Expo changes that next year to get us in an hour early, so that way we can test and try all the things out to let people know like what they really were like, how they felt. Because otherwise, like, what's the point, right? Like, I'm not giving any value if I can't get on, explain what I'm feeling, and tell you guys this is a great purchase. It's a good price point. You should buy it. If I got to wait in line for 2-3 hours to get on something, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to be able to touch all the things that I want to be able to review and share my excitement about. So, Sim Racing Expo, I hope next year you guys do that. Let the creators get in an hour early so that we can just bounce around and get to try and explore some of the things that are out there. That way we can share with the world and really tell them how everything is, as opposed to shooting something, never being on it. For me, I'm not going to be the guy who reviews something and tells you my thoughts on something I've never touched or tried, because that's just silly. Other than that, as I always end things, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit me with a like and subscribe. May there always be wind beneath your wings. And since we're in sim racing, I'll see you guys out on track. Peace. Chicago was dope. I was there. I enjoyed it, Wyatt. It was a blast. If you haven't seen my video from there, check that out. It's here on my YouTube channel. If you've seen it already, let me know what you're. It was a blast. I can't wait for the next one. I think they've already signed the contract with the venue. It's going to be even bigger. So this year was 65,000 square feet. Next year, Sim Gaming Expo in Chicago will be 100,000 square feet. So they gained like 35%. Well, more than 35%. It's like almost 50% of space. So that's massive. That'll be huge. I'm excited to see what other sim rigs, because I'm a motion fanatic. It's all about motion for me. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Wyatt, much appreciated, my guy. What games do you play? We'll have to get on. You'll have to show me something on track, teach me something new. I'm excited to get involved. Oh, I did. I was one. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I remember you at VGTR. Most definitely. That's what's up. That's what's up. Most definitely. VGTR is dope. I had a good time over there. There were a lot of products I got to try, different motion rigs, motion platforms, tons of stuff that I liked. Most def. No, you got that. All right, bet. Guys, I'll holler at you guys. See you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Peace. All right, let's get off there. And for all my people on YouTube, I'll check you guys out next time. All love, all the time. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.